FNAF is certainly a scary series, with plenty of jump scares, horror stories, and gruesome events taking place inside the various continuities of the series. We can only think of the scary moments. However, we already did that list, so in the spirit of Halloween and Halloweek here at the studio, what are some games that you should even avoid playing on Hallows Eve? That's what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Monroe and this is the top 10 scariest FNAF games you shouldn't play. Let's do it. And at 10, FNAF 3. While FNAF 3 isn't the scariest game, since the main jump scare isn't really a jump scare, more like a slow scare, the rest of the jump scares, thanks to the phantom animatronics, are something that can actually catch you off guard if you're not paying attention, and then can send you into a panic, causing you to freak out and make even more mistakes, resulting in the game becoming actually stressful. But as long as you make Springtrap run between a couple rooms, you'll be okay. With the phantoms though, if you know what to look out for when the jump scares are coming, you'll be fine. Eddie VR, however, was not fine, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. After he himself described his look after this game as a stepped on Cheeto with hairs on it. And to be fair, the game is scarier in FNAF VR than it is in normal FNAF 3, so in VR it's definitely better and makes more sense as to why it's here. If you're gonna do it, you might as well play it in VR. And at 9, fun with plush babies. I hate the plush baby minigame, okay? It's the freaking worst game out of all of FNAF VR. Having to search around the room for little Chucky dolls coming at you, and then you have to catch them before they reach you, I hate that. My mother is absolutely horrified of Chucky, and she hates possessed dolls. And while I don't have as severe a creep factor about them, I still don't want to deal with anything that's possessed. And while possession I don't personally believe is real in real life, a killer doll is a killer doll, and honestly it's nothing to be trifled with. You don't mess with killer dolls, and it's not even like you find this amount of characters and you're good. No, you have to survive until 6 AM, which is 8 minutes and 55 seconds if it goes by the classic FNAF night timer, with the first hour lasting 90 seconds and each subsequent hour lasting around 111 seconds. Either way, okay, I don't want to spend 10 seconds looking for killer dolls, let alone 555. And at 8, vent repair. The vent repair minigames from FNAF VR are probably some of the most intense out of the ones here, especially in nightmare mode. Being trapped in this little tiny elevator that's smaller than even the one in my current apartment building, you have to perform a series of puzzles with animatronics right in your face, especially for the Mangle one, which starts you off with Mangle literally right in your face as you turn on the light. And then the entered one just gives you a lot to process, and then a jump scare right in your face when you thought you had just burnt the man to a crisp. The vent repair minigames will not help those with claustrophobia or the one that fears animatronics, which I actually totally forget what it's called. Like, what the hell? Like, I can remember that the fear of the Pope is papaphobia because it basically calls the Pope daddy, but I can't remember what is it? Automatonophobia is the fear of human-like figures such as animatronics, and anthropomorphobia is the fear of giving human characteristics to non-human objects, such as robots or animals, for instance. And at 7, Sister Location. Sister Location, while being one of the most popular FNAF games, is probably also one of the scariest, since the whole vibe is like it's new in this game. It's not the classic survive until 6 AM thing like we've been seeing. This time there's a story. There's a chance for multiple endings, but this time there is a solid story that we can grip onto and get invested in. In no other game have we had an animatronic betray us like this. They've always been our enemy first and only, but this time we thought one was on our side. Add to that the fact that this is also the game where we learn that we're a robot and can't die, and it's revealed that William is still alive, that we're his son, and that Elizabeth is our sister who ends up possessing Baby, and you have a whole lot to take in. Plus, not to mention the VR fan-made version of this game YouTubers like Eddie VR have played, because those are even worse, because again, it's in virtual reality instead of just on a flat monitor that you can look away from. Can't really look away from VR, it kind of like follows you. And at 6, fun with Plush Trap. Not only is Plush Trap one of the scariest little buggers there is in FNAF, in the fun with Plush Trap minigame, your goal is to literally get him close to you and stop him on a red X. Why? Like, I don't know, I guess because like it's a dream, nothing really needs to make sense, but either way, this game is freaking terrifying, since you have to willingly let Plush Trap get closer and closer to you by having the lights turned off, having to listen to scuttling in order to know when he's actually moving, which is absolutely freaking terrifying. Like, why the absolute living hell would you do this willingly? And I'm saying, like, fun with Plush Trap instead of fun with Balloon Boy, okay? Because Plush Trap is just a straight up creepy animatronic, like, for real. This guy is like a rabid rabbit, okay, on illicit substances that have something to do with baths, okay, and sodium. This guy will eat your face. However, Balloon Boy, on the other hand, just seems like while he does have his own version of the minigame, like he's scarier than normal Balloon Boy, but he just makes me think that he's like some little kid on the playground who's trying to intimidate an adult or something. Like this guy can't really do anything, and if he tries anything, I'll just kick him. But not Plush Trap. Plush Trap, that's messed up. Halfway through into number 5, FNAF World. FNAF World isn't scary, you're probably thinking as you aim to either skip this number or click off the video. However, trust me when I say that the sheer horror this game will cause is greater than any other FNAF game because of how bad it is. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be scared. I hate being scared. I think it's a bad thing. And that when you are scared, it means that there's something wrong and that you're in danger. I don't understand people who like to be scared. But this game is scary bad, so I'm putting it on this list. It's Halloween, trick and treat, right? Here's the trick of the list. You're welcome. We gotta have some fun with all the spook, right? Well, maybe FNAF is a scary series, but when games are scary because they're bad, that's longer lasting than any jump scare or psychological horror you can think of. I mean, this is certainly a short number, but you have to admit, you were hoping this would be on the list. And if I put it any higher than number 5, you have all been mad at me because there are actually scary games in this series, so let's move on. And at 4, Night Terrors. The Night Terrors from FNAF VR are in essence a dumbed down version of FNAF 4, with a singular enemy coming from the different sides and in some cases a different mini game in the same sort of setting. Plush Trap is a dark room, but these are Night Terrors. The other ones include Nightmare On, which involves the most horrifying tentacle video I've ever seen, along with the classic FNAF 4 doors mechanic. Circus Baby, who has you hiding in the closet longer than my sister was. Funtime Freddy, who's basically just James Charles. And then there's Nightmare Fredbear, which I have to say is probably the most horrifying character to face in VR. I mean, why the absolute hell would I want to face what is probably the scariest animatronic in the series in freaking virtual reality right in my goddamn face? Like, hell no. There ain't no way in heaven, hell, purgatory, or the empty that this is like, there's no way I'm doing that. It's the most ridiculous bull that I have ever seen. And there's no damn way that I am letting myself deal with it. Hell no. Getting close to the end in number 3, Hallway. Now getting into the FNAF VR DLC, which is nothing more than a festive holiday add-on with no hidden intent or purpose, is the epitome of FNAF horror. Especially with a game like the Hallway, which is probably the hardest minigame in the whole DLC. The minigame revolves around walking down a hallway, and while that may not sound like the scariest thing, this hallway is filled with the nightmare animatronics we see in FNAF 4. Complete with Bonnie and Chica on their respective sides, opening and closing doors that you need to avoid when open, and Foxy, who will appear at random times in front of you, running at you and jump scaring you and ending the game if you move while the lightning flashes. Which makes this very difficult if you're trapped near a door that starts opening, because you need to move, but then the lightning flashes and Foxy's ahead, you get it. And if that's not enough for you, when you make it halfway down the hall, if you make it halfway down the hall without getting killed, a door opens behind you way at the beginning of the hall and reveals Nightmare Freddy, who starts walking towards you Michael Myers style, not stopping for any reason. And if he catches you, you're dead, son. That's what makes this game so difficult. You need to keep moving to avoid Freddy, but then you have to stop multiple times due to other reasons. Due to Foxy who's standing in front of you, or because there's doors that are opening on either side. It's not a pleasant experience. And ultimately, in number 2, Corn Maze. The Corn Maze minigame from FNAF VR Curse of Dreadbear is probably the most disturbing game there is in Curse of Dreadbear. Where the hallway is definitely the scariest, Corn Maze is the most intense, at least if you're going for the secret ending with the Vanny mask and all 5 keys. The secret ending is the hardest to get, with you needing to collect the 4 colored keys, red, green, blue, yellow, and then finding a 5th secret brown and purple glitching key that can spawn anywhere on the map. And the only indication you get as to where it could be are a couple of buildings. That's it. So if you're looking for the key, you better be paying attention. And not only that, but Foxy is also stalking you the whole time. He knows exactly where you are, and the only way to be rid of him, even temporarily, is to send him running at you, okay? He has to see you, he has to charge at you, then you have to hide behind a cardboard cutout before he catches you. This will cause him to be put somewhere else on the map, but he still knows where you are. So he will make his way back, causing this whole process to repeat. And not to mention, the goddamn clusters of crows on the mother yuckin' ground, okay? Which are definitely the scariest part of the minigame. And I'm not even joking. I hate them. Like, you'll just be walking. You'll be like, oh my god, there's a key. Foxy's not around, let's go for it. Boom, crows. They alert Foxy to where you are, so he makes a beeline for you. And then your pants are brown now. It doesn't matter what color they were before, they're brown now, because of some goddamn crows. Finally, in at number 1, FNAF 4. FNAF 4 is probably the scariest FNAF game, and for good reason. This is where the series came back after FNAF 3 received less than favorable reviews after the Springtrap jump scare wasn't that scary. FNAF 3 was supposed to be the final game according to an interview with Scott, however the community's outcry over the jump scare led to Scott making a game that would scare the living daylights out of everyone. FNAF 4. With the game revolving around listening to little sounds, it's a miracle that anyone was able to complete it. Ask our editor Tessa. You tried it and couldn't get past the second night from what I remember her telling me. The issue is you have to listen, okay? And having to listen, especially with the jump scares, it makes them worse, since the actual scare of the jump scare comes with the sound that plays it, not the thing that flashes on your screen. So, if you're focused on hearing sound, the actual scare will hit you harder than most others, because of the sound. This is also where the fun with Plush Trap and the Night Terror minigames originated, in a way, so with multiple other things on this list being included in this game, it's safe to say that it is probably the scariest FNAF game, especially lore-wise, because apparently nobody's figured it out yet, but Scott hasn't seen my videos, so I might have. There we have it, friends, the top 10 scariest FNAF games you shouldn't play. Which FNAF game is your favorite, and which do you think is the scariest, and which one of these are you going to be playing on Halloween because you never listen to me? Be sure you let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.